A quorum being present, the clerk will read the journal of the previous session. Mr. Carnestrari?
Mr. Speaker, I move that the reading of the journal be dispensed with and the same stand approved.
Without objection, so ordered, Mr. Carnestrari.
Mr. Speaker, we have a main calendar that contains bills for our action today. After any introductions or housekeeping you may have at the desk, we will immediately proceed to the consideration of the main calendar.
Please welcome Mr. Garcia Quesada, or otherwise known as El Profe, in a special presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Going to ask my friends and colleagues, Hermina Ayala, Ana Sanabria, Hector Cruz, and Hector Artiles to join me here in the podium. It's a special moment and also a moment to rejoice about the life of someone who we very much love and associate with this institute for 19 years of her life. Sara Narvaez Sima, Cuban-born, resided in New York. She was a teacher, a bilingual counselor, a coordinator of family services, a community organizer, a Pride Light chaperone, trainer, and coordinator for the New York City delegation for 19 years. Most importantly, Sara was a mother, a grandmother, and a friend to many of us. She dedicated 41 years to the New York City Department of Education and 19 years to this institute. This institute, and during this institute, she helped over 1,000 students from the New York City school districts have the wonderful experience that all of you are having this weekend. We lost Sara Narvaez this past winter. She has passed on to a better life. And on behalf of the 2011 Angelo del Toro Hispanic Youth Leadership Institute, we honor Sara Narvaez Sima with a moment of silence. Please rise. Sara, may the Lord have received you. May all the joy, the peace, all the inspiration you brought to so many remain with them, grow, and they're able to move it forward as well. We remember you today, Sara Narvaez Sima, as a child of God and as a wonderful teacher to so many of us. Thank you for having been part of this institute for 19 years. Thank you, Sara. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We have a resolution to be read by Christian Intrago Velez.
As Christian is going to be reading this resolution, we ask of all of the Aspira students to remain standing. The rest of you may sit down. Any aspirantes, any volunteers, staff, leadership development, to please come down to the well.
Resolution Calendar 1, clerk will read.
Commemorating the 50th anniversary of Aspira, New York, Aspira of New York, founded in 1961 by Doctora Antonia Pantoja. Whereas it is the sense of this legislative body to recognize that quality and character of life in the communities of the city and state of New York are reflective of the concerned and dedicated efforts of the individuals and organizations which devote themselves to the welfare of the children, youth, community, and citizenry. And whereas attending to development, health, and growth of our children and youth in full accord with its long-standing traditions, this legislative mock body is justly proud to recognize and commend Aspira in its 50th anniversary. Whereas in 1961, Doctora Antonia Pantoja and a group of progressive Puerto Rican and Latino educators created an organization to represent and advocate for the rights of youth in the New York City metropolitan area. And whereas the 5 decades of arduous work on behalf of the youth has made the Aspira organization a movement for educational equality, youth development, and whereas the teaching and practice of the AAA process of awareness, analysis, and action has assisted young people in the development of their leadership potential, and whereas many prominent aspirantes have become important leaders in the fields of education, medicine, engineering, business, music, arts, and politics, to name a few. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this very important day, this mock legislative body pause in its deliberations to commend the many Aspira staff, leadership development specialists, and volunteers dedicated to serving the youth of this nation, and especially the Latino youth. And may this organization be blessed with many more years of celebration and jubilee. Adopted in the Angelo del Toro Pri-Li Assembly, April 3rd, 2011, by order of the Assembly.
That's the resolution. On the resolution, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The resolution is adopted. My colleagues, we have a special guest today. With your consent, the governor would like to address the assembly on today's calendar. Without objection, the Sergeant of Arms will escort the governor to the clerk's desk.
Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, I now present the Governor of the great state of New York, Lila Cassandra Bocanegra.
Thank you for having me here. We are here today for 2 reasons. The first is to honor a great man, a man who 21 years ago brought the Hispanic youth together for the first time. We are here today to honor Assemblyman Angelo Toro and the great work that he did. We are also here to debate bills that affect the people whom we represent. Not only that, but we are debating bills that affect us. During this day, we should keep in mind the needs of the people of our regions. The bills presented today will affect the lives of all age groups and professions. But most importantly, we are debating bills that affect the future, the children. Bills today will affect the education, economy, privacy, and the political structure of New York. 2 de los proyectos de ley se tratan del sistema de educación de Nueva York. Esos proyectos de ley permitirán a muchos de los estudiantes de secundaria de Nueva York a que continúen con sus educaciones. Con la ayuda de esta Asamblea Legislativa, muchos estudiantes podrán asistir a escuelas superiores de la comunidad o del Estado. Estos proyectos de ley también permitirán que los estudiantes se gradúen a un ritmo acelerado. Yo les pido a las personas en esta reunión que voten a favor de estos dos proyectos de ley. New York State takes pride in our citizens. We as delegates work for the benefit and prosperity of our citizens. But how can we do this when there are people taking the identities of our citizens? It is time for us to take charge of this infraction of privacy and do something to protect the good citizens of this state. By doing this, our economy will be more stable. We as citizens will not have to worry about our money being taken away by unknown intruders. El gobierno de los Estados Unidos no tiene ninguna lengua oficial. Así debería ser el caso del estado de Nueva York. No hay un solo idioma ni en los Estados Unidos ni en el estado de Nueva York. Hay 311 idiomas que se hablan en los Estados Unidos. En Nueva York hay más que 100 idiomas. Entonces, ¿es justo hacer la lengua, el inglés, el idioma oficial del estado de Nueva York? Les pido que piensen y reflejen sobre esto antes de emitir sus votos. Hoy estamos aquí para honorar la memoria del honorable Angelo del Toro. Vamos a usar el regalo que nos dio Puerto Rican Hispanic Youth Leadership Institute. Es un regalo de gran valor. Pride nos da, como jóvenes hispanos, la oportunidad de mostrarle al país nuestra fuerza. Somos latinos y somos el futuro. Thank you.
What?